Now, this is a CBS 17 Storm Team Alert.
It begins with another night of storminess on the radar. Good evening, I'm Wes Hohenstein. Thanks for watching CBS 17. Not severe and not flooding, but heavy rain with plenty of thunder and lightning that continues to move through our area. Two clusters we're keeping an eye on. One just moving into the heart of Wake County from Raleigh out toward Cary and Apex in western Wake County, out over Jordan Lake, and then about ready to hit Chapel Hill, which is a big part of our breaking news story tonight. More on that in a second. Heavy rain with lots of thunder and lightning. Let's slide southeast. You can see a larger cluster, still heavy rain, thunder and lightning from a good portion of Johnston County down through Four Oaks on toward western parts of Wayne County, including Goldsboro. This one a little slower, so more rain accumulating in our already saturated ground, but slowly moving off to the northeast. By morning, this will all be gone, but still a muggy start, and even by lunchtime, muggy but generally dry. It's later in the day that will fire up the storms again. I'll tell you what exactly to expect this time around and update you on a big cold front later this week in a few minutes.
Now, breaking news from CBS 17 News.
Breaking off the top tonight, Silent Sam is down.
Within the past 2 hours, protesters on UNC's campus toppled the Confederate monument that's long been the center of a controversial memorial debate in our state.
We also just got a statement from UNC. Our team of reporters breaking down this historic moment, starting with CBS 17's Amy Cutler live in Chapel Hill. Amy.
Yeah, protesters talked about taking it down all night, much as they have for years now. But if you take a look behind me, you can see it has been toppled. UNC police surrounding it. Still at this hour, dozens of people remain surrounding the statue, much of it to see the situation for themselves. And with that, the 105-year-old Confederate monument known as Silent Sam came down. The pictures and cheering followed. The statue, meant to honor UNC Chapel Hill alum and students who served the Confederacy, has long been a controversial figure on campus. Hundreds of students, activists, and community members came together at the old post office to protest it.
Disillusionment has turned to disgust as the leadership of this university has continued to demonstrate blatant disregard for the well-being of black members of the Carolina community.
Right now we do have a memorial on campus, a memorial to white supremacy and to slave owners and to people who murdered my ancestors.
Back in April, Maya Little mixed blood and red ink and covered part of Silent Sam with it. Despite the charges, she let the crowd know the fight to remove the statue continued. Students then marched to the statue and put up large signs around it. Dozens of students surrounded those signs. Then there was a few tense moments between police and protesters, but only one arrest. At one point, protesters took the street, marching down Franklin Street and blocking an intersection. Police cleared traffic.
It's tormenting, it's unacceptable, it's inappropriate, and our university needs to stand up. We need to fight back, we need to take this statue down.
And an hour later, they did. Protesters covering the head with dirt, a hat with a logo, "Do It Like Durham," placed on top. Back out here live, that of course a reference to the Durham Confederate monument that came down about a year ago today. Again, UNC police remain out here surrounding what is left of Silent Sam. Now, I can't say that they have been out here for most of the night monitoring the situation, but also giving protesters the chance to make their voices heard. For now, we are live in Chapel Hill. Amy Cutler, CBS 17 News.
Amy, thank you. And UNC released a brief statement about an hour ago that happened, reading in part, tonight's actions were dangerous and we are very fortunate that no one was hurt. We are investigating the vandalism and assessing the full extent of the damage.
Governor Gov Cooper also just released a statement. We're taking these directly from his Twitter feed. He says he's been in touch with law enforcement in Chapel Hill and went on to say, quote, the governor understands that many people are frustrated by the pace of change and he shares their frustration, but violent destruction of public property has no place in our communities, end of quote. CBS 17's Michael Hyland has been covering this controversy for years.
He's here with more on the fallout that led up to tonight. Michael.
Yeah, Silent Sam has been a source of controversy for years at UNC. It's among dozens of Confederate monuments across the state. And this week, we'll find out from a state panel whether some of those will move. A year before Silent Sam came down, Protesters in Durham brought down this Confederate monument. The violence in Charlottesville, Virginia, renewed the debate over what to do about Confederate monuments across North Carolina. In 2015, the state legislature passed a law putting restrictions on moving or removing them. It also gave authority on the issue to the North Carolina Historical Commission. Governor Roy Cooper asked the commission last year to move 3 Confederate monuments on the state capitol grounds to the Bentonville battlefield in Johnston County. The commission is supposed to decide on Wednesday. Members also plan to hear from people who wanted Silent Sam moved as well. The commission has not received any requests to move it from UNC or its Board of Governors. So the commission had planned to talk about whether other people had the standing to bring that request to them. Soon after Governor Cooper asked to move the monuments, Republican Senate Leader Phil Berger wrote to him and said the commission doesn't even have the authority to do that. He also said there likely will be a lawsuit. Marius and Angela.
All right, Michael, thank you. Obviously, a historic night in Chapel Hill. This is a story we'll be covering in depth for the coming days.
Much more right now on CBS17.com and our news app. There you'll find links to the video from tonight as well as prior stories on our Silent Sam controversy. Just look for the stories on our homepage. Tonight, we're working to learn more about a child's condition after a 31-year-old woman was killed after being electrocuted at a hotel in Nash County this afternoon. Officials believe an air conditioner in a room at the Economy Inn and Suites on Old Battleboro Road may be to blame. We spoke with family members of the victim this afternoon.
You got families living in here, and she was just doing the right thing by trying to be a good mother, doing right by her kids, and lost her life inside her room.
So tragic. We're told the woman died after touching the door handle while the floor was wet. Again, the child was taken to UNC. We are working to learn more about that child's condition.
Let go! Stop biting her! Stop biting her! Let go! Stop biting her!
Screaming, "Stop biting her." The officer seen in these videos will not face any charges in connection to a controversial arrest that took off online over the weekend. This body cam footage released by the Raleigh Police Department by court order today shows a new perspective on the events leading up to Frederick Hall's arrest. CBS 17's Michael Hyland is digging deeper into what those videos show.
The moment an officer gets out of the car, you see the taser deploy, and it has no effect. This is one of 10 new videos released of Friday's arrest of Frederick Hall. These come from Raleigh police officers' body cameras and dashboard cameras. You see the officers as Hall bites one of their legs.
He's biting! Bite me! He's biting! He's biting!
I talked to Wake County District Attorney Lauren Freeman Monday.
These videos are difficult to watch, and we certainly aren't saying that they aren't hard to watch and that it isn't, troubling to see this kind of incident occur.
She says she reviewed all these videos as well as cell phone videos taken by witnesses. Ultimately, she determined the officers should not face charges.
But where there's clear attack on law enforcement or efforts towards law enforcement to use force against law enforcement has the authority to return that.
Hall faces charges, including assault. He appeared in court by video for the first time Monday. His brother says he wants to use this as an opportunity to improve the relationship between the community and police.
And that's all we really want. Let's sit down, let's talk. We're adults. We're supposed to, set the precedent.
The judge reduced Hall's bond. His brother hopes to bring him home Tuesday. In Raleigh, Michael Hyland, CBS 17 News.
And CBS 17 talked to Frederick Hall's brother tonight after those videos were released. He called it, quote, a blessing because it gives his family more information that they didn't have. He says he is still trying to figure out what they'll do next. And our coverage of this story continues right now on CBS17.com. There you'll find links to all the videos released by police today, the mayor's statement on the investigation, as well as other community reaction from advocacy groups and the police association.
In new court documents released tonight, Chris Watts admits to killing his wife, but says she was the one to strangle the couple's young daughters. This comes hours after the North Carolina man was officially hit with murder charges.
I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again.
Days after going in front of news cameras to plead for their safe return, Chris Watts is now charged with the murders of his wife and 2 young daughters. Prosecutors made the announcement late Monday afternoon.
3 counts of murder in the first degree after deliberation, 1 count naming Shanann Watts, 1 count naming Bella, 1 count naming Celeste.
33-year-old Chris Watts is also charged with unlawful termination of a pregnancy and 3 counts of tampering. Shanann's father was also at Monday's press conference and made an emotional plea.
Thank you everyone for coming out to the candlelight visual and saying all your prayers. They are greatly appreciated. And keep the prayers coming for our family.
According to an arrest affidavit released Monday, Watts told police that he asked for a separation from Shanann. Soon after, he found her strangling their daughters in the bedroom. Watts said he then strangled his wife in a rage and loaded all 3 bodies in the back seat of his work truck and took them to an oil field where he worked. Shanann was found in a shallow grave and the girls were submerged inside tanks filled with crude oil. Prosecutors say it's too early to say whether they plan to seek the death penalty. The FBI is helping Raleigh police investigate threats made to people who work at a Raleigh synagogue. The FBI says the case involves Temple Beth Or, which is on Creedmoor Road. CBS 17 is working to learn more about the specifics of that threat. We've reached out to synagogue leaders but have not heard back. Using smartphones to keep teachers and students safe in the classroom.
Next at 11, how a local district is implementing the new method when students return to class next week. Wes.
Our Storm Team Alert Day continues tonight as we are tracking some strong storms with heavy rain and lightning moving through our area. This is one of 2 clusters. We'll track these, tell you how much longer they'll stick around and when the storms will be back tomorrow. Coming up in your forecast.
But first, tragedy at a South Carolina resort. A woman killed by an alligator while walking her dog. You're watching CBS 17. If you joined us late, we continue to stay on top of big breaking news out of Chapel Hill. More than 200 protesters on the UNC campus gathered to protest Silent Sam. That protest resulted in the statue being toppled. Much more right now on CBS17.com.
And some other breaking news we're following out of Raleigh. Leesville Road is closed right now at Leesville Road High School near O'Neill Road after a woman was hit by a car. This is a live look at the scene right now. Police tell us she was unconscious and taken to Wake Med. Police are still on the scene. Police also tell us the person that hit her remained on the scene. Leesville Road is shut down until further notice. Tonight, we are learning more about that deadly alligator attack at a private resort on Hilton Head Island. 45-year-old Cassandra Klein had gone on a morning walk with her dog inside the Sea Pines Resort. Officials say an 8-foot gator suddenly lunged for the dog. Klein tried to protect it in what witnesses describe as a tug-of-war battle before the gator turned to her and dragged her underwater. The dog was not hurt.
Typically, they don't come up on land to go after their prey, because an alligator is going to stay in the water where he's comfortable at.
In a statement to CBS News, Klein's sister said, "My sister is a very special and beautiful person. We are all broken and not sure how to get through this." Crews eventually did find that gator and euthanized it.
Police want to know who stole an expensive French bulldog from a pet store in Greensboro. The 2-month-old female is worth about $4,500 and is already microchipped. Investigators say a man grabbed the puppy and ran out of the store to a waiting getaway car.
We get them out for them. We were going to put them in one of our bigger playrooms in the center of the store. And they politely requested, saying, "Hey, can we see the puppy actually in one of the rooms up front by the window?"
Police and the pet store manager hope security camera video will lead to the suspects and the return of that puppy. CBS 17 is covering local news that matters county by county, starting in Wake County. After more than a year of buzz, the Morgan Street Food Hall in downtown Raleigh is finally open. It was set to open in July, but that was pushed back. There are more than a dozen local food vendors there.
But I suppose it's not every day that 20 different restaurant concepts open up at the same time, so that's definitely unique. Well, we got everything, burgers to wood-fired pizza, to Lebanese, to Thai, to Indian, to ice cream, to Southern. I mean, it goes on.
I can't wait to give it a try. It opens every morning at 7 and stays open until 10, Sunday through Thursday, and 2 a.m. on the weekends for the late night crowd.
Covering local news that matters in Johnston County, thousands of educators kicked off the new school year at 5 County Stadium. It's a chance for teachers to come together and celebrate a new beginning.
I call it, in just good old Johnston County terms, a great big old family reunion so that we can focus on our students and lay the foundation for a successful 2018-19 school year.
What a great idea. Students on the traditional calendar return to class on Monday. The plan to turn Durham Public Schools around starts next week. The system's new superintendent hopes to see 90% of the schools in the system meeting or exceeding year-to-year academic growth by 2023. There could be adjustments along the way.
This is a living document. It's not something that we just write, we put it on the shelf. It's something that we have to revisit on the daily basis to make sure that we're really following through.
And the district is still looking to hire roughly 49 teachers before students return next week.
The Hope County Sheriff, along with educators, are using an app to help in the event of an active shooter on campus. Today, CBS 17 got a first-hand look at how it would be used. An app with the panic button would notify law enforcement and staff. School staff would use it if they notice a suspicious person, which prompts a call to 911.
In the event there's a school shooting or school situation, more than likely everyone that hears about it will be dispatched to that location. So we want to make sure that everybody's on board.
The sheriff says they've been working on this for several months. It's ready to be used this coming school year. Wes.
For the second night in a row, Marius, we start off with severe storms, strong storms across the area. Not severe, but boy, are they lighting up our cameras across town. I know it's nighttime and it's tough to see, but there you go. Lightning all over Goldsboro as we look live down there tonight. Our network, more than 30 cameras across the area. Here we go, some heavy rain coming in sideways. This is live in Johnston County in Smithfield. And you can see it's really coming down there. Let's come up the road a little bit to the airport. I was actually flying in during the worst of the storms last night. Don't want to do that again, and that's what these folks are doing right now. Some storms moving through live out at RDU, and I'll finish here at our tower cam in our backyard here in North Raleigh at CBS 17. Storms coming in from the south. That's which direction I have the camera pointed. Again, lots of lightning off in the distance every few seconds or so. So we got another round. The heavy rain with tons of lightning. That's our problem tonight. No hail, no damaging wind, no tornadoes, and they're moving fast enough tonight where they're likely not going to cause widespread flooding like we saw last night, but some isolated spots, some ponding on area roads, definitely possible. So from Garner through the south side of Raleigh, back through Cary, right up I-40 to the airport where we just showed you, and then some heavy rain. You saw the report live in Chapel Hill with Amy Cutler. She got in the worst of it. Those storms are continuing to head toward Durham, so you'll have some heavy rain with thunder and lightning. And then we slide southeast, coming back down to Clayton. Then onto the I-95 corridor through Johnston County, really from Kenly through Smithfield and Four Oaks, and then some showers and storms in Goldsboro where we just saw it live. Again, the storms are moving tonight. You're probably going to get some heavy rain for a good 30 minutes or so, but it's not going to result in 3 to 6 inches like some of us saw 24 hours ago. We've got another storm team alert day tomorrow because of the threat of strong storms. We'll start off with muggy conditions in the low 70s, generally dry for the first 3/4 of the day. We'll top out at 87. We'll see mostly cloudy skies. A good portion of the rain is going to hold off until after dinner time tomorrow. And again, storms, severe weather will be possible. But it's not all bad news because I want to show you a bright spot in the forecast, and that comes from Newer. Great super sunset tonight. You know, technically this is probably about 3 hours before the sunset, but what an amazing image the clouds are hiding. And I put this on my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook page. Inspirational almost. This was over in Fuquay Arena a couple weeks ago. Let me know what you think this looks like. And again, if you've got super sunset pictures, I'd love to get them. Show them off every night at 11 o'clock. Send it at cbs17.com. So we're going to trade in one boundary for another boundary the course of this week. This stationary boundary hanging around over the next couple of days, once again inspiring a chance of showers and storms tomorrow. But this cold front that will approach us and actually move through is the real deal. It's going to lower temperatures and humidity. But on Wednesday, it's working its way through. We might have a little bit of morning rain, and that'll mainly be off to the east, but that's when the cold front moves through on Wednesday, and you'll feel the effects of it on Thursday and Friday. And again, that's lower humidity and lower temperatures, a little taste of fall. But no such luck tomorrow. We'll be back close to 90 down in Cumberland County, 88 in Rayford, 87 in Pinehurst. We come up I-95 with temperatures in the upper 80s, very similar to today. Temperatures aren't the big story tomorrow, as many of us will see mid to upper 80s around the triangle. It's the strong storms that'll be possible in the afternoon. And once again, our area in the risk of a marginal risk of severe weather. On our 1 to 5 scale, that's the lowest threat level. The stronger storms likely staying to the north, but damaging wind, large hail, something we'll have to watch out for. And later this week, look what we'll get to watch out for. A steamy, muggy day tomorrow, but that humidity level will drop drastically, and you'll feel it by Thursday and Friday. And your 7-day forecast starts us off with a storm team alert day tomorrow. The cold front comes through Wednesday. We feel the effects of it Thursday and Friday, but guys, we're back up to near 90 by next Monday. So that's a 7-day with a little bit of everything, including taste of fall later this week.
Man, we can hear that thunder outside the studios.
Yeah, right on top of us.
Getting loud out there. Wes, thanks. Jeff joins us now with sports, and they can't keep them healthy out there in Charlotte.
It doesn't seem like they can. The Panthers' injury report grew again today. Head coach Ron Rivera tells us if it is finally time to worry about the team's beat-up offensive line. Plus, it was an emotional debut for a local baseball star. We have that story and more straight ahead.
Come on up to the bird. Look at Bob.
Welcome to the Honda dealers of the Carolina Sports Desk. They say once is a fluke, twice is a coincidence, but 3 times is a trend. If that's true, the trend in Panthers camp is not a good one. It's been offensive linemen going down. Today, Panthers left tackle Matt Khalil missed his 2nd practice in a row with knee pain. The Panthers offensive line was already missing 2 other presumed starters, right tackle Darrell Williams and guard Amini Silatolo. Both of them will miss extended time, while the team is hopeful that Khalil could return soon.
No, Matt, has got a sore knee, and we're getting it evaluated further. It's the one that he's been, kind of working through camp, and it just all kind of came to a head. So we'll have it evaluated, and we'll go from there. And we're just waiting to hear what the doctor says.
Coach Rivera went on to say that the team plans to be careful with this injury, so there is a chance that we do not see Khalil for the remainder of the preseason. Staying with the Panthers, we recently got to know one of the team's linebackers, former Tar Heel Andre Smith, a whole lot better. I asked Andre 3 questions that had nothing to do with sports, including, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever recorded on your home DVR?
I recorded Sex in the City one time. I think so. And then I had recorded a Lifetime movie. Lifetime got some good movies. Y'all sleep on Lifetime. Lifetime got some good movies.
Don't sleep on Lifetime. You guys can see that full interview on my Twitter or Facebook pages at Jeff Jones Sports. And we'll start showing Panther stories like that and much more on our brand new 30-minute Panther show that debuts on September 8th. It's called The Black and Blue Huddle. Speaking of football, the guys at NC State announced their team captains this afternoon. The 4 players serving that leadership role are center Garrett Bradbury, quarterback Ryan Finley, receiver Steph Lewis, and linebacker Jermaine Pratt. The team opens the regular season on September 1st against James Madison. To golf, where Pinehurst is officially on the clock. This year, the U.S. Amateur teed off at Pebble Beach. Next year, golf's most important amateur event is coming to the Sand Hills. When people hear Pinehurst, they often think U.S. Open, but the guys who run the courses actually believe the U.S. Amateur represents what Pinehurst is all about.
This is some people's high watermark. To have the opportunity to host a United States Amateur Championship is the most prestigious championship many places ever get to host. We're lucky because we've had the chance to host many, many U.S. Opens, but we take this one just as seriously. Anytime you have a national championship being played at your facility, it's a great honor.
The tournament takes place next August on courses 2 and 4. And check this out. Former Orange High School pitcher Bryce Wilson made his major league debut tonight. 2 years ago, Bryce was pitching in high school, and tonight he stepped foot on the mound for the Atlanta Braves. Bryce struck out his first 2 batters of his career, which of course made Mom very happy. He finished the night with 5 strikeouts, no runs. He only allowed 3 hits, and he earned a 1-0 win. That made him the youngest pitcher in the MLB to ever open a career with a 1-zip win. We'll be right back after this.
All right, I don't know if it's happening outside your back door, but we have some very heavy rain with thunder and lightning here in our backyard in North Raleigh. Heavy rain, thunder, and lightning, the main problems tonight. It's moving fast enough where we're not going to see the kind of flooding we saw last night, but as you can see, it stretches really up from around the Chapel Hill area, down through Wake County, all the way down to Goldsboro, moving off to the northeast. Today was a storm team alert day, and so will tomorrow. We think there will be more coverage tomorrow and the chance of strong and severe storms. That's why we have the weather alert day. Just make sure you have a way to check in on radar throughout the day. Cold front, though, on Wednesday, and it will actually be cooler by the end of the week.
All right, Wes, thank you.
Have a great night.